Welcome to Fire and Water, Coming of Age in This Age, with Quanita, Roberson, and Tenneson, Woolf, cultivating wise leaders, one show at a time.
I suppose as I begin to speak and reflect a little on what I hope for in this collection of recordings to have for ourselves as well as to share as inspired with others and have others share as inspired. I hope for a space to think openly, to wonder out loud about things that matter. And I know that I value the space in general, the containers, if you will, where I get to participate in that. More and more, I feel like I'm trying to understand some not knowing things I don't know, and shifting my orientation into more not knowing than knowing. I think I've always been oriented that way because I sort of can't help but see connections and questions, and I don't necessarily have answers. Sometimes I feel like I have some opinions, even strong opinions. But I think I've always been a person who's wondered out loud. I like wondering out loud. You and I, Quanita, you and I get to do a whole pile of that. And I have a desire to have more of this with more people. That sounds like a personal desire. I guess that's true. But it's, as much as anything, it's like I want to encourage the capacity for any of us to wonder out loud with one another, to listen, to share story, to connect ideas, to shed a few tears, to laugh a few laughs. All of these things matter to me, and they sound like they're, on the one hand, they feel like or sound like they're sort of feel good connection moments, and they are. They're also like this is a deeply called for practice, I feel, these days. The times that we live in require us to re-up our game in terms of being able to listen with one another and listen into what we might just discover together that we don't discover alone, even though there's lots of good individual discovery to bring. I think the other thing that I question or bring into this question of what do you hope for is one of the elders, if you will, that I've been really paying attention to lately is a man named Stephen Jenkinson. And in one of the podcasts that I've listened to, he defines eldering in a way that really sticks with me. He says, an elder is one who raises the still waters when people have forgotten that they're thirsty. Now that statement to me takes a little unpacking. As soon as he said it, I turned my head and clicked pause and rewinded it and needed to and wanted to listen to it again. Some of the fleshing out that Stephen Jenkinson provides, as well as what I do with it on my own, is that the still waters are a surface thing. Like beneath still waters are often very unstill things. And Jenkinson is describing an elder as being one who, among other things, dares to interrupt those still waters, or dares to look underneath, dares to raise the kind of trouble that is essential for us to be in these times, or the kind of attention to trouble that isn't satisfied with just, oh yeah, the surface is still, I guess we're good. All things are good. Like that kind of superficiality. And the thirst part of that statement around what is it that people have forgotten they're thirsty for is I think, a deeply compelling human thing. Like we have so many sources of numbing, and I participate in those sources of numbing. TV, even reading good books, overreading, overwatching, overlearning, even all of these kinds of things. We have a lot of numbing and some perhaps less flattering numbing alternatives also. I think that we've forgotten as human beings that it is our job actually to be in the troubles of our time. So with fire and water and the conversations that you and I have, or the conversations that we have with other people, I hope that there is a layer of us stirring up or accessing or daring to lean into or even peek into some of the troubles that are part of the human condition in these days, times such as these. I want to be thoughtful together. Heartful. Let me stop there.
Coming soon, Fire and Water with Quanita Roberson and Tenneson Woolf, 2019.